Well, good evening and welcome to the Go Tape Golden Valley Football League. John!
Yes, David.
Right,
what have we got here?
Well, I'll tell you what, my little mate here, Guy Morford, he's put me onto it, and you must have been...
It's a new product?
It takes years off me, Guy. You happy with my new hairdo? Where's the love, Guy?
Yeah, I tell you what, no, it does suit you, Foxy. I'm going to get some myself.
Well, to tell you what, Johnny Collins, I know you're out there watching. Yeah. I know you highlighted the fact that he spat it last week. That'll do. We'll be thrown off here. That will do.
Two can play this game,
That's
John.
Exactly right. All right. As Guy just
say hello to Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny's a good bloke.
Yeah, very good fellow, Johnny.
Benalla man loves his Benalla Football Club.
You are an idiot.
Let's have a look what happened last weekend. It was Mansfield in an upset over Uriah by 4 points. Benalla too good for Seymour and a beauty by 57 points. The Swannies by 79 points. Marupna by 23. Rochester by 124 over Tat. Kyabram by 54 over Echuca, which sees our ladder like this. Don't touch it. I put a lot of money into this hairdo. Rochi on top with 60. Cannot lose top spot. Then Benalla on 52. Kyabram on 48. The Swannies and Seymour on 44. Uriah on 38. Outside the six is Marupna, Mansfield, United, Shepparton, Echuca and Tatura. Our goal kicking ladder, Josh Mellington's on 84 with Justin Madden on 70, Billy Burston's on 56 and Steve Strubant is on 55 goals, John. Great football last weekend and a couple of teams came to play and that really looked good, didn't they?
Oh, look, I think it's a great result for Mansfield. You know, after the week before, they had a week in hell and it just shows they did draw a line in the sand and well done to the Mansfield boys. It was a great effort.
Okie doke. Now, before we get into progress any, I want to talk to you about just how hard it is for us on occasions in the fundraising department, John. And I'm absolutely rapt to be able to say that people that have got on board with us, it's their second year on board, but this year they take over the full scoreboard rights right through the final series. That's in the first, seconds and thirds now. Wally Armstrong coaches the thirds at Benalla, and obviously Wally's had a fair bit to do with organising this deal for us, and we thank him very much. But it's Toyota, and I'm talking about Toyota. There's Benalla and Mansfield Toyota, and JL Ford in Kyabram, the Ovens Ford in Wangaratta, and Dalatite Ford in Benalla. Now, if you go to Dalatite Ford, you can talk to Steve Murray and the team there at Wangaratta. You've got Ash McElroy and his team. Peter Baston heads up the team at Kyabram, and of course Wally and John are up there at Benalla, and they're terrific supporters of us. As I talk to you right now, Hagel put up some photos of the new facelift, it's called, on the Toyota Prado. Now, they have 5 in stock. It's a 2.8 litre diesel with more kilowatts and more torque, and now has a 6-speed auto. Probably the only bloke in this room, John, that can afford that. It would be John Ryan and Guy Morford. I think you
might have to go and have a look at one.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
Go and see Wally.
Dig up the Bicky tin.
Coming soon is a Hilux, and they call it the Fort Runner. Now, if you're going up and you're looking at a new car and you happen to mention the GV Footy show, for every sale there will be people from the GV Footy, our audience, go and say, listen, we saw this on the GV Footy show. They will donate $50 to the Relay for Life team in Benalla. Now, of course, as with all car dealerships, there's new and used cars available. But if you want more information on it, you can call Wally Armstrong he's the general manager up there at Benalla, on 0409 008 366, and I just cannot tell you how fantastic that is for us.
Yeah, look, we'd like to thank Benalla Toyota and the other companies, of course, that have put the money in. And you know, if there's anyone else there, we still need a little bit more to do the Premier and Grand Finals, to take it live all over the world. And if you'd like to make a sponsorship or get an ad on our show during those finals, just give David Fox a ring. And I'm sure he was quite happy to make a beautiful ad for you.
Do you reckon you could have gone and had a look at a new purchase up there at Benalla, David? Or
No, I'll be going up to Benalla.
Have you seen his new Chariot?
Yeah, I have seen the Chariot.
Yeah.
No? Yeah.
I'll tell you what, and a nice little ute it is.
Yeah, okay. Chariots of Fire. What was that show? Yeah.
Johnny, you caught up with an old legend from your days at the Doggies?
Yeah, I did that weekend. Johnny Greenwood, he came back to the Hall of Fame, and Johnny was inducted to the Hall of Fame, which was a great effort. He was one of the best players, won 2 medals in the GVL Footy League. And Johnny came across with his daughter Janine and his two grandsons Jackson and Ashton. So we just thought we'd send them a cheerio because they're back in Perth now and they will watch the show. And I told them if they watch the show, they'll be on the show this week. So there's a shout out to them.
And here's the photo there.
Here's a photo of them there.
Okie dokie. Now, Lorraine Brown, now they tell me that Lorraine does a pair of work at the Maroubra Football Club. She runs a canteen in what they affectionately call the Green Shed. And she's a volunteer worker, Lorraine, and been a stalwart of the club for a long time. So to you, Lorraine, we congratulate you on your work and your achievements, and it's one of those thankless jobs. And
where would we be out with our ladies and volunteers?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well done, Lorraine.
Yeah, and a fella that sends me a message, or two boys send a message every week. One's a boy called Tony Hill. Now, Tony had a lot of connections with the Footscray Football Club and VFA football down in the western suburbs of Melbourne. Does not miss a show. So, g'day, Hilly. How are you, mate?
Related to Over?
Over there. He's a great aunt over there. A great aunt over there. And, of course, we can't forget Jimmer. Jimmer's coming home. Jimmer's coming home during the final series.
Yeah.
So we look forward to that. Now,
I reckon your hairstyle actually resembles Jimmer a little bit.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Jimmer could be the Papa Bear here sitting as we speak.
Yeah.
Moving right along. Johnny, we had terrific success with the Tatura Hotel.
Yes.
Of course, and we'll do the Tat Hotel now. And
we'll do the raffle now?
We'll do the raffle.
Where's the trumpet?
Well,
don't do it.
There we go.
That's it for the Tatura Hotel. No expense.
Well, let's stir it up. Now, before we do this, David, you can't be looking in there.
Oh, hang on.
Oh, you got it. Now, before we do that, this week's question is, who was the leading goal kicker of the GVL seniors last year?
Oh, who was the leading goal kicker of the GVFL last year? Well, I can tell you.
Seniors.
I'm doing the question next week too.
Oh, you got it.
Okay.
They're too easy.
No, you can't make them too hard.
Yes,
Let's get our winner.
Free meal goes to... no.
Smoke!
Oh, the little man. He doesn't need a feed.
No, he doesn't.
Does not need a feed. There it is. You saw me pull it out. It's Samage Little. Sam Little.
Sammy Little.
So, Sam Little, you're on your way to Tatura with a bit of luck and the wind's
There's your $50
good
meal voucher,
Sammy.
Okay.
We'll put that over there with that.
Good on you, Sam, and I'll see you on
Sammy.
Saturday.
Yep.
Well done to the Tatura Hotel, Johnny.
Yeah, look, it's been good.
Huge.
And the good thing about it is we've had a heap of entries, and it's good because the first one's gone to Seymour and the second one's gone to Benalla. So, yeah, it's all good. But anyway, keep your entries going in, and we've still got 5 to go.
Okay, no trumpet this time, Guy.
No.
We'll just slip straight into you, and I know you're still across at your Uncle Dave, but Morph's mailbag.
Yep. Good letter coming this week, boys, from Rob Spencer. I think Rob's from Benalla boy up there. Hey Morph, you might already be planning to do this, but I was just wondering if you fellas at the GV Footy Show could possibly give the viewers a bit of an explanation as to how the final series works. Last year I couldn't find much info on how the 4 weeks of finals worked, and it was fairly confusing. Great show, love it, keep up the good work. Cheers, Rob. Right. So I can tell you now, Rob, I'll give you a rundown of how the final series works. Obviously we run a top 6 system within the Golden Valley Footy League. Week 1 in all grades will always be 1 versus 2. So if you finish top 2, it's 1 versus 2 every week. 3 versus 6 and 4 versus 5. The loser out of 3 versus 6 and 4 versus 5 is an elimination. Goes straight out. Week 2 of the finals. The winner out of... I'm going to use a scenario here, John, because this doesn't always happen. But if 3 beats 6, for example, and it doesn't always happen, but if it does, they will play the winner out of 1 versus 2.
Correct.
The loser out of 1 versus 2 will play, in this instance for the example, the winner out of 4 and 5. So let's say it's 4. Yep. Okay. The winner
so
out
5 and 6 in a round.
Correct. Yep. 5 and 6 are eliminated. Week 1 is an elimination final for those sides. The winner out of 1 versus 3 goes straight to the grand final.
Yep.
So normally you would think it's going to be 1, but it doesn't always happen like that.
Yep.
The winner will go straight to the grand final. Okay. The loser will go straight and play in the preliminary final, which is week 3 of the finals. The loser out of 2 versus 4 goes out.
Yep.
The winner out of 2 versus 4 goes in the preliminary final.
We'll play the winner of 1 and 3.
Correct.
Yep.
Week 3 is obviously a preliminary final,
Yeah.
and we know what happens to the winner out of that.
Yeah. So what it does in that is, if you finish third and you win, you will get a double chance.
Correct.
But if 3 gets beaten, then the highest winner then gets a double chance.
So I hope
That's
that
it,
answers hope that answers your question, Rob. Gives you some clarity. If you want any more, send me an email and I'll send it through to morseMailbag@gmail.com. I got a little bit thrown there. You know why?
Yeah. The old rubber ducky.
That's unreal, isn't it? Anyway,
Right, carry on.
hey there. So now, without any further ado, we are going to have a word from Tom Hogan, who's going to support us again right through the final series. So listen to what Tom's up to with the Shepparton Roadworthy Centre, and then it'll be Mario D. Santa, and Mario's going to be talking to 3 young soldiers from United, Matt Cordy, Seamus Searle and Liam Sweeney, straight after this.
Goulburn Valley Roadworthy Centre is a division of Tom Hogan Auto Repairs, specialising in roadworthy certificates for light and heavy vehicles. With first-class workshop facilities for all types of repairs and mechanical inspections, and as of the 1st of December 2014, they'll have the only roller brake testing system in the Goulburn Valley. Why go anywhere else? Goulburn Valley Roadworthy Centre.
Yeah, thanks Foxy for the intro there, mate. And yep, I've got 3 of the guns from Shep United here tonight with me. I've got Matt Cordy. How are you, Matt?
Yeah, good, how are you?
Good stuff. Seamus Earl, the far end there. Huh, Seamus?
I'm good, thanks.
And Liam Sweeney sitting right next to me here. How you going, Liam?
Oh, not too bad.
That's a shot, boys. We'll talk a bit more about United and how you guys are travelling in a minute. We'll go straight into the ladder. While the final 6 has been finalised, sitting in first spot is Chuka on 64, then Benalla on 60, Kyabram in third on 48, Euroa in fourth on 48, United in 5th on 46, and Shepparton sealed up the last spot on the weekend, and they're sitting on 36. Just outside, missing out by a game this year, would be the Swans on 32, Mansfield then on 24, and then we've got Rochester, Seymour, Maribna and Chichura filling the last 4 spots. So, at this stage, the only spot on the ladder can probably change would be Euroa and United, but it won't make any difference to the finals games for the first round. Those 2 will play each other, so we'll have a bit of a chat about that later on. The goal kickers, don't have all the details there, but I reckon it's pretty close to the top at the moment with Zane O'Donnell, who's been out for 6 or 7 weeks with a broken bone in his foot. He'd be hoping to get back for finals, I reckon, in the next couple of weeks, battling it out with his teammate in Ben MacDonald, who kicked 3 on the weekend. So it's pretty close there, and might be decided this weekend out of those 2. If Zane doesn't win and Ben gets a couple, he might just snatch up the trophy from him. The Alan Rosignoli Real Estate Award, for all your real estate needs, get down there and see Alan and the team down at Wyndham Street in Shepparton, or give them a ring on 5821 1277. They'll do you a great deal and they'll look after you down there. The award, $500, Rich's Award in under 18 country football, and this week the nominations for that award are from Mansfield, Jimmy Chiller up there. He's had a great season, Jimmy, and he's battled away. And from Shepparton, Fletcher Banfield, the left footer who plays in the midfield there, he's had a top season as well. And so congratulations to those 2 boys. They join the other nominees, and I think Seamus, you were a nominee there a few weeks ago as well, so you're in the running there, mate, for the cash award. So boys, we'll get straight into it. We'll start off just what your nicknames are, boys. Seamus?
My nickname at the club is Princess.
Princess?
Yeah.
If you saw his shorts, you probably know what we're talking about there. Liam?
I've got Dad.
Dad?
Dad.
That's D-A-D?
Yep.
Unusual. Okay, do you want to have a meaning, or...?
Just because I'm always looking out for the boys.
Good on you, mate. Good on you. And chords?
Well, just chords.
Chords.
But, just whatever rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, that's the
I don't know
go.
what the boys have got, but they've got something.
We got something for you. All right, and every club's got one. Who's the biggest nuisance at your club, boys?
Geordie Gattuso easily.
Yeah, I'd have to say Geordie.
Geordie.
Maybe Tom McCluskey.
Tom McCluskey. Tom's a little bit outspoken. He's out there, really got on your Tommy. And Jordan, certainly, his football sort of backs up his gob, but doesn't it?
Yeah.
He's playing pretty good at the moment. Gary Kiddo, he's been coaching down there for a few years now, and been involved in junior football. One of the best coaches going around, I think. Yeah. What makes him special down there, boys?
Just his communication. He really relates to us well. Knows how to get us going.
Yeah.
He's got good goals set for us. He's just pushed us along the last couple of years, and we've reached finals now. So.
Yeah. And you've played a fair bit under him, Courts, haven't you? I think.
Yeah, 50 games on the weekend under Gaz.
Yeah, that's a lot of junior football, isn't it? Yeah.
It's all the stuff that Gaz has put forward to me and brought to me and everything like that. I really appreciate all his efforts.
Yeah. Yeah, good stuff. And you actually cracked it for seniors this year as well, I think,
played 2 games.
Yeah, well done.
The Chuka and Rochi.
Excellent stuff.
Good jump.
So, boys, just moving forward into the finals, you guys obviously, you sealed up your spot last week, and you sort of know what's ahead of you, but you still got to get past this week. Obviously, knowing Gary, he'd want you to go out there, 100% concentrating on that. But if United do make the grand final in the under-18s, who's the side that you'll play? Who do you reckon you'll play?
Benalla or a Chuka.
Yeah,
definitely.
I reckon a Chuka.
You reckon a Chuka?
I'm going to go Benalla.
Yeah, it's pretty close between those two, and it's a big challenge for you either way there. If you had to pick up an opposition player who you'd bring into your side, who's the best bloke you'd pick up from around the league?
I'd grab Julius Batista.
Yeah.
His work rate and hands around the ground's magnificent.
Yeah, pretty versatile.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Shep.
No, I'd go Joel Brett.
Joel Brett had a great year. He's kicked a few goals. Joel was a small forward midfielder.
I can't think of anything. Probably.
Pick yourself on your court.
Yeah, probably.
That's it, 2 of him, 2 chords. Yeah. That'll do it. Jeez, that's a headache for opposition sides, I tell you. All right, boys, we'll keep moving on because we're running short of time there. The next round, obviously doesn't mean a lot for the final sides other than maintaining form. So it's really important they keep winning. Benalla or Euroa?
I'll go Benalla.
Yeah, Benalla.
Yeah, Benalla.
Yeah, I'll go Benalla as well. Mansfield Seymour? Tough one.
I'll go draw.
Fair enough.
Mansfield.
Yeah, Mansfield.
Yeah, Mansfield for me up there. Marupna and Shep, James?
Shep.
Yeah, Bears.
Shep. Yeah, I think Shep and they're in pretty good form at the moment. And United and Swans, well, you boys will all be going for Swans, won't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go for United. There you go. We don't know what we're doing here. Rochester versus Kyabra, match of the round.
I reckon Kai will get past.
Yeah, Kai should get up.
Yeah,
Kai, I reckon Kai. And Echuca versus Tachura, pretty easy one, that one, isn't it? Echuca. Yeah, Echuca will win that one there as well. So keep an eye out for these boys. They got their last game this week against the Swans at Deakin Reserve. They've got the big function on there as well, I think, with the launch of the jumper, with every player who's played in the senior grand final being launched on the day upstairs at Deakin Reserve in the HT Luck Pavilion. Get there for that as well. But watch them in the finals, all right? They'll front up against Euroa in the first final, and I reckon they're a good chance to knock it off. One other thing about the Shep United side is, I think primarily, the same squad's been there all year, hasn't it? You sort of haven't got guys in the seniors or guys in bushies. It's been the same group of boys, and you're pretty close, aren't you?
Yeah, a few injuries and that have hit us, but
you're still winning.
Yeah.
You've won your last 5, so keep up the good work. Thanks for coming in today, boys.
Thanks,
and over to you, Foxy.
Well, there you go. Doesn't Mario do a great job with those young men?
Yeah, he does. Mario is no better in the Golden Valley than Mario Di Santana with the Thirds boys. He's he's the prince.
It's a pity he's got such a long name.
Yeah,
yes,
there's absolutely.
But he's the prince. He is the Cuda.
He's good with the kids.
Oh, he's brilliant.
He is fantastic with them. There's no doubt about that. What
Good
we'll
with
do,
women too.
Yeah, well, hey, we'll move right along. Sorry, Mario. He's out of control. On the weekend, we shot down to Seymour and we had the opportunity to talk to the great man in Brent Colbert. Let me tell you, he gave us his time before the game. Was really appreciative of him. We didn't know the outset of the game, John, but he spoke really well.
Yeah,
and I'm sure you'll enjoy the interview with Brent. Here he is right now on the GB Footy Show. Well, GB Footy Show are absolutely thrilled today to have on hand and gone right out of his way to help us out Brent Colbert, the playing coach of the Seymour Football Club. First off, Brent, thanks for your time, mate.
No worries, Foxy. Great being here, mate.
Brent, what a turnaround. There's no other word to describe it. You've, I thought, and I'll tell you the absolute truth, there's no point lying to you. The halfway mark, I thought, with your run home, you've got absolutely no hope of playing finals football, and I think it's a credit to you, yourself, by keeping the boys up. But I really do think the people of Seymour and the playing personnel, the group themselves, have got a fair bit to be happy about.
Yeah, look, it's we're definitely in a pretty good place at the moment. But as you mentioned earlier, Foxy, it was probably after that Shep Swans game. It was it was tough times then. We're sitting 4 and 5. We're just coming off a 90-point defeat, and if you looked at the the games ahead, we had no easy games coming up, and I guess we looked at it that if we wanted to play finals, we probably had to win 7 out of those 9, and finals wasn't even really in the equation then. It was really just trying to play good football, and I think it was a big wake up call for a few blokes at Shep Swans game, and I reckon that's sort of helped us where we are now.
Mate, do you reckon at that given time that the younger brigade, and I'm talking the let's say boys like Harrison Wheeler's a name that comes to mind. I think when you got Cole back from suspension. I think the two Scobell boys are better footballers than what they get recognition for, and there's so many others. I sort of felt from the outside looking in, they genuinely lifted.
Yes, yeah, well that's, everyone talks about our top end. Like our top end have look fantastic. You look at, Jace Cole, Brett Meredith, Brandon Grenfell, Huey Robinson and, Tim Bongetti. Like everyone sort of talks about those guys, but, if you look at everyone's list, their best 5 players, are good every week. Whereas with us, it's been, Harry Wheeler's having a good year. Brent Lasser's probably having his best year to date.
Yep.
Even Will Bourne's been good. Rory Scopel's probably playing his best football as well. And when you got these guys playing their best footy, it lifts the whole group as well. And I reckon they've been there. I reckon prior to the Swans game, we're all just playing just in and out footy sort of thing. But I reckon since that Kai game, blokes have just gone, well, you know what? If I want to play in this team, that's the stand I've got to set, and that's why these guys are playing really well for us. AJ McCarthy, so he was another one I forgot too. So
the Brent Colbert that's playing now, right? It's a completely different Brent to the one that was around round 4 to say round 8, and rightly so, because a lot of those boys have lifted. I have to ask you, goal to goal, you're very, very good. What have you done one-on-one with Hugh Robinson? Behind, I think he's an elite footballer in this comp. And a matter of fact, I think he's a higher level footballer.
Yeah, to be honest, Fox, not much.
Yeah, okay.
You got to keep it fairly, just keep it short and simple with Huey. Don't go into great detail with him, but I guess what we did was, I know in our first 8-9 games, we didn't really have a set back line, if you know what I mean. Like our backs, were coming in and out, and we just said, look, who are our best players, and we put a lot of them in the back line. Hugh was, he was dominating down forward, and we didn't really take a risk on him, but we just thought we would try him down back, see how he went, and the rest is history. I haven't really looked back. He's been pretty amazing, hasn't he?
Well, my word, he has that. The other boy I have to talk to you about too is when you look about blokes, and he's fitted into the Seymour. There is a culture at Seymour. They're a club that came from, they get criticised. My old hometown's Broadmeadows.
Okay, yep.
Okay, now that city got criticism that was so unfair. And Seymour as a unit, and I'm not saying this out of school because I've got a lot of friends in Seymour, it comes under criticism as well for the same problems that I grew up in.
Yep.
Bongetti has come from the northern suburbs and just blended in here beautifully. I haven't met the fella, but I've seen him play and he can really play the game. How important is he to you?
Oh, he's huge. He's huge for us, but you talked about what he brings to the side as well. Like a lot of the guys that we do bring to this club, we don't just want to bring good footballers. Like we obviously do a bit of behind the scenes work, and he's no different. He's just come into the fold and just come straight into our culture, and he's come from a winning culture as well at Greensborough. So his off-field stuff's just been brilliant for us, and what you've seen on field, it's he's pretty exciting, isn't he? The way he goes about it.
He's a great player.
Yeah, and I guess having Paul out as well, it's really helped straighten that forward line up for us too. So you can definitely play the kid.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Now talking of kids, the brother, he's back and up and about, Paul.
Yes. So no, he's he's back this week. So I guess the boys were pretty excited seeing him out there last week, and he's put a lot of hard work in off the scenes to get himself right, and I guess the way we're going when he got injured, it was sort of do I come back, because we probably weren't going to play finals, but the way the season's gone, he's just like I've got to be a part of this, and he's worked really hard to get back.
The other fellow that I think is playing, well, you talk like there's so many players that have turned around in this competition. There's so many players that have turned around in this club.
Yep.
But that mighty man you've got in the ruck, boy, is he doing? You got Inspector Gadget down at the young winter hooving boy. His arms, well, they just go out another foot when everyone's finished.
Yep.
But Grenfell in the ruck, what a story he is.
It's huge. Last year I think we hadn't shot in the side. We didn't really know. I always thought ruck was his best position. But we sort of played with him a bit down back, bit down forward last 2-3 years, and this year he's playing sort of like a Toddy Goldstein sort of role. He plays 80-90% on game on ball. He takes grabs. He pushes back into attack, into defence as well, and kicked 3 goals last week. He's just yeah, his confidence is really high at the moment, and he's sort of one of those guys you think he's played a good game, and then the next week he goes out and takes it to another level. So, we'll see today, against Marchbank. That's his. That's probably the next question, I guess.
No, not at all. I'd probably that's going to be a battle royale, the two young men, because they're both similar age, and I think they'll go at it. And I just hope Footy comes out on top, because I rate them both very highly, but I think Grenfell in particular, his improvement has been absolutely mammoth.
Oh, it's been huge. That's why I reckon there's a lot of. See, he's been part of that group that have playing better footy, so that's why we've got to where we are.
Now, Brent, you and your brother have probably looked at as certainly the best dressed footballers in the competition. You always present yourself very, very well, and you've got different sort of ways you play the game. Neither of you are scared. Don't get me wrong, but mate, I've got to talk to you about the names of your dogs. now, your dog's called Mishka, and the other one's Simmer. Is that right?
Yeah.
Am I on the money there? Now, you've had... I've
been doing your research.
No, I'll tell you for why. I'll tell you how it came about. Quite a few years ago, you were last to the treble. It may have been. You're in the grand final anyway, and your mum and your girlfriend, or now your wife,
yes,
I believe, were sitting in the grandstand, and they had the old Mishka there. Mishka looks like a chamois on four legs. Be very handy to cut and polish the car with. You've added to the family. You got Simmer. I don't think you had Simmer then.
No.
What sort of dogs are they? All spoke very highly of them. Very highly of them.
Yeah, no, they're Samoyeds.
Yeah, okay.
So like little polar bears, pretty much, Fox.
Yeah, well, consequently, you get the chamois routine.
Yeah.
Well, mate, look, all I can do is say that I spoke to you the other night on the training track, and it was particularly wet down here. I thought you trained really, really well in those conditions. That was time for the redhead to go home when it started raining.
Never seen him last long.
Yeah, right, that's exactly right. But I know that everybody that is involved in Golden Valley football knows that you are a quality bloke who goes out to play football to the best of his ability every week. You've never let us down ever, and I wish you all success today. It's a huge game of footy, and I hope to see you just march right through the final series. Get onto the Seymour lines.
No worries, Foxy. Thanks for
your
your
time,
mate.
Cheers. Good on you, bud.
Well, there you go, John. You're in the room with Brent. And he is a quality bloke.
Oh, quality bloke. He really is a quality bloke, and couldn't give you enough time. He was just absolutely fantastic, and said he loves the show. Gets his boys to watch the show and really enjoys the show. But yeah, just a quality bloke.
Guy in your playing days, you would have been out on the ground when Brent was out there. I reckon he's tougher than what people give him credit for. I reckon him and his brother are a lot tougher. They stand up when the going gets hard. They don't mind it hard at all.
No, they are. They're both courageous players. I was at the game, obviously, with you blokes on Saturday to see Benalla, and it was a pretty of an annihilation at Seymour. But one thing I'll say about Brent Colbert is, when a coach needs to put his hand up, he is quite happy to put his hand up and take on a job. Now, what I'm speaking of is, and in all fairness to Hugh Robinson, Josh Mellington kicked 5 goals in the first quarter on Saturday. Now, for a young bloke, and Robinson came back onto him later in the day and did a very good job, mind you, so don't take anything away from him. But when the flow needed to be stemmed, I watched what Brent Colbert did. And as a coach, he put his hand up and said, I'm just going to go back here, slow the pace out of the game a little bit. And that, to me, shows maturity in a coach. That is what a leader does, is takes it on board and says, I'm just going to stem the flow here. And that's exactly what he did. Yeah. And he's a lovely fella, Brent Colbert.
And did a good job
and
too.
A very good coach, yep.
Mellington, he did a very good job on Mellington, David.
Absolutely, and spot on. Johnny, I'm walking through the crowd after we'd spoken to Brent.
Yep.
Bloke comes up to me and he said, "G'day, mate, you know who I am?" And I said, "Look, mate, I'm struggling a bit, but your face is so familiar." He said, "Oh, I'm Dane Swan. I've heard about the GV Footy show. Is there any chance I can get on it?" Well, what do you reckon I said to him?
Right, you said, Dane, well, get in the queue.
Yeah, well, I think, but...
And we'll just, look, if we got a few spare minutes, we'll put you on.
Yeah, so straight after you hear from Harper and Morford, you're going to hear Dane Swan and his thoughts on football here on the GV Footy Show.
Thinking about building or renovating? Consider Harper & Morford Residential and Commercial Builders first. Sustainable, innovative construction and design for over 16 years. Harper & Morford offer hassle-free, efficient, cost-effective building solutions. Drop into our showroom or visit us online.
Well, what a thrill it is for us today on the GV Footy Show. We've got none other than the great man, Dane Swan. Dane, how are you, mate?
Yeah, not bad, mate, not bad. A little sore after last night, but not too bad.
Would that be the greatest one you've been involved in a while at Collingwood?
probably our best full quarter performance today, even though I played only a quarter and 10 minutes. But the North Melbourne game this year was pretty good because we come back from 10 goals down, whatever. So that was probably a better victory. And obviously Anzac Day, we love to play on Anzac Day, and any win, no matter how you win on Anzac Day, is probably the greatest of the home and away season. But last night was probably the best full quarter performance we've had all year, or for some time.
Dane, at the moment, what a great bunch of boys you've got at Collingwood. Look, in the youth department, there's some exciting talent coming through. You must be thrilled.
Well, I think we showed it last night. During the week we planned for me to play up forward and for Pendles to go down back, just so we could give these kids. We can't make finals, so it's time to give the young kids a go see what they're about and give them some experience without having the older guys in there. So Geordie, Tay, Levi, and Crispy, who are the future of the footy club, and Brody Grundy, obviously, went to work in there, and they absolutely brained the cats in there. They had they shooting contested ball and clearances were fantastic, and the young kids proved with a little bit of hunger how far we can go, and it probably reinvigorates the older guys on the edges that there's some light at the end of the tunnel.
Now, one of the things that I think is coming to your game that wasn't there early days, well, it probably was, I just didn't see it as a Collingwood man, and I am a Collingwood man. Your overhead markings improved out of sight. Did you take a strong overhead mark?
Me?
Yeah.
It's all, I like to think it's hopefully always been. I've had obviously wrist problems, so my hands are probably this is the first year and probably 4 or 5 that I feel comfortable with my hands. They don't hurt anymore when I tackle and when I hit the ground and stuff. So going forward, it's more and more likely that I'm going to spend more time up forward as my career goes on. So I need to be able to overhead mark, otherwise not much point going forward. But I've always thought I've been okay at.
Now, do you feel for a bit at the boys at Geelong? There's a few boys at your age that are saying that this, that and the other, and it could be all over for them. Now, I know you've been around a while yourself, and to my way of thinking, I think you're playing, as good as your Brownlow year, but I think you've always gone on the radar as a player. How many years do you think you've got left in you?
That's the $1 million question, I think. I'm definitely contracted next year, so
Beautiful.
I'll definitely be playing next year unless something happens in the next, I get sacked or something like that. But I'll definitely be there next year, and after that, I guess it'll be year by year proposition. I might finish up, I might go 1 or 2 more, but I can guarantee you right now, I will not be a Robert Harvey, a Brent Harvey, or a Dustin Fletcher and play till I'm 38. I think I've got 3 years left max. But in saying that, I say that now, but I'll only keep going if I think we're a chance for success, because I don't want to play and not play finals. The motivation's hard to get going every week for a guy who's had such success, like team success, to try and come up every week and knowing that we're not going to play finals at the end of the year is pretty hard. So if I can see light at the end of the tunnel and the footy club still want me and I'm still playing good footy, I'll go on. But I said it there before, I'd rather go a year too soon than a year too late. I don't want to play a year at the footy club when I'm struggling, my body's gone, I can't get a kick, I'm in and out of the side, and it's kind of just a waste of the year. And I want the footy club to succeed. So if I'm taking if I'm taking Geordie to go his spot, we're not going to play finals, I would be doing the club disservice. So I've higher them in the world. So when it comes time that those kids have taken my spot, which is going to happen at some stage, well, I'm more than happy to give it to them.
Final question, Dane. The unique personality that is Dane Swan. Obviously, Nathan Buckley, I think personally, I don't live in a house with you, but he seems to have got through and got in your head and put you in a very good space. Is that fair?
Yeah, me and Bucks have always gotten along well. Obviously, when you're not playing well and stuff, it's hard to get along on a football term because I'm not delivering what the coach is asking me. But personally, we've always got along really well. We are, you'd say 2 different people. I'm different at Pendlebury, I'm different at Maxwell, I'm different at Steel Sidebottom. Everyone's different. But I think it takes all types, and we go along well. We had a nice chat at the end of last year, what I needed to do to get my form back and get my body right. And he was great with me, let me get my body right over the break and really manage me this year. And I think it's shown in the way I've gone about it this year. So yeah, we get along well, and he's brought the players really close, and we've connected really well as a group this year. So I think that's his biggest strength this year is being able to get the whole 44 blokes what we've got on the list is to really play for each other and connect and feel for each other. And I think that's been his greatest strength this year.
Listen, mate, I can't tell you how much we appreciate you giving up your time. We're only a humble little organisation, but we represent
just a humble little man, mate.
Yeah,
too.
that's
Absolutely.
That's all right. But Dane Swan, you've gone from there always to right up there. You've been fantastic to spend some time with us. You got more ink than pink, and I like they've got to be ink.
Exactly. Good to hear, mate. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's exactly
much.
right.
Cheers.
But all the best, champion.
Thanks, bud.
Well done,
Nice, mate.
Well, there you go. That was Dane Swan, and what a thrill for us it was to have Dane on. Guy, a down-to-earth bloke. I'm talking about a bloke that's younger than you are. And I mean that with, I'm not saying that to be a smarty, but just a bloke so learned about his footy. So he sort of, we mentioned it during the thing, that comes under a heap of criticism, Dane, but gee, he was good with his job.
Oh, he was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you now, if we had stayed there another 30 minutes, he would have stayed there with the interview for 30 minutes. It wasn't hurry up, and you can just see in his answers to questions when Foxy asked him a question how he went into detail with his answers. And look, he was absolutely fantastic. I take me out of him. He was a wonderful bloke.
Now, John, he was a little bit excited after the interview, wasn't he?
Well, he was a little bit excited at the start of it. He was a little wee bit nervous.
For the viewers out there who doesn't know our big mate here, an absolute die-hard Collingwood supporter. Now, let me tell you, after the interview, we went and had a little cup of tea and a few biscuits and everything else. This bloke was weak at the knees, and I had to give him a lift home too after the game.
Yeah.
And you should have heard about it, John.
Yeah.
You could not. It was like a little kid in a candy shop.
When I actually told him I had the interview, he actually went past me and kissed me on the back of the neck.
It does not surprise me.
I'll tell you what,
I said, hey, that's all right, but
I'll tell you what, I was working the knees, and if you'd have been with me, so would you be. I got to talk to the lovely Olivia Wolfe. How are you, Olivia? What a beautiful girl she is. But anyway, we'll get right off that topic and move along. Huge game this weekend in Go Tape Golden Valley football, and it's the broadcast game on 1FM when Rochester play host to Kyabram. This promises to be an absolute beauty. First off, Guy.
Before you start, David, do you think anyone's going to show their hand in this game?
Yes, I do.
I don't think so.
Oh,
but anyway,
well, they have to. I'll tell you right, Kyabram have to, because they could lose a double chance. Guy?
Yes.
Before we start on anything, who's going to win it?
Rochi for me. I just think Rochi is still the side for me. After what I saw on the weekend, Benalla has grown on me a lot more, but I just think Rochi are too good all over the park and too young and too fit for Kai at the moment.
Righto, Johnny?
Kai.
You're going Kai. Okay. First off the rank, John, I've got a couple of questions.
5 points last
Hang
time.
on, first off the rank, you're coaching Kyabram.
Yep.
Guy, I'll ask you, because you reckon Rochi are going to win.
Who am I coaching?
Obviously coaching Rochi.
Yeah, okay.
He's just checking his running sheet.
Who are you going to send, because I'll tell you right now, it will hurt you, who are you going to send to Sam Sheldon?
It's Sam Sheldon plays at probably, depends where he plays. I mean,
he's playing a few different roles now.
Correct. He will most like, if he's playing across a half back line, do you go a negative role and negate him? And if you do, then look, I don't know, it'd probably be somebody like a Nick Knight or somebody like that to shut him down. But look, it really depends on where he's playing. Sam Sheldon gets a lot of his footy from that sort of 2 metres off the pack, and exceptionally good reader of the football, Sam Sheldon. Like he's when you watch him, there's football players who, when it's coming in the back line quick, they get hot and they panic and they just want to grab for players. Sam Sheldon has that ability, similar to Lockie Smith, where you can just see him reading the ball in the air and just gets himself in the right position. So, look, I don't know. I would have thought they'd probably send somebody like Nick Knight to negate him.
Johnny, on the flip side of the coin, who are you going to use to shut down the great man in Ash Watson? Yes.
Yeah, Axel Charles. Axel Charles would go to Ash Watson, but this is where
Gave him an easy question.
No, but this is where I'm saying I don't think the coaches in this game are going to show their hand.
No.
Some of these matchups, I think you'll find there'll be a heap of different matchups in this game to if they play again. And I don't think a lot of the matchups that they'll use in finals, they will use in this game. No way, shape or form.
I think Kai are going to have to, though, John, because if they want to... Have they cemented third yet or not? Or can Seymour or
the ladder's there, mate.
Righto, let's have a look then.
They're right. They'll be right.
If Swans' percentage, they can still finish
Yeah.
equal third.
Yeah.
So Kyabram,
This is not a gimme game.
Yeah, I disagree a little bit. I think Kai are going to have to really throw caution to the wind here and have a good crack.
So do I, most definitely. And I don't, knowing both those boys, I don't believe that Flaherty's going to let his blokes go in with a relaxed attitude.
Oh no, he won't go with a relaxed attitude, but they're just not going to show everything. Like, if you look at Brad Edwards now, I've noticed now he's playing around up the forward line, which I think is a very good move. They've used Jason Morgan up forward, he's kicked 6 goals. Hayden Gemmell came in and he's been in for a couple of weeks, he kicked 5 last week, so obviously he's really good. And you've got Lukey Morris who's pushing forward as well, so I think Kai, as we said at the start of the year, they had to change their structure of their forward line. And which I reckon they've done. They've done it, and they've done it very, very well. And this is where the backs and like Flaherty, it's even Kyabram. They'll try and drag James Flaherty out of centre half back. Well, he just doesn't leave centre half back. Doesn't matter who goes there. You will not drag him out of centre half back. He will stay at centre half back.
Guy, Jason Morgan does a similar role at centre half back. Who are you going to put on him? Like you almost have to have a negating role for who will you play on Morgan to lead him back down the ground. Don't lead. Jason likes to run up through the centre corridor and lead up high. Who are you going to have there? Has Elliot Bowen got a big enough motor to run him around all over the place?
No,
probably not. And Elliot Bowen's, you got to remember, he's been out of the game he's only been back in the game for 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah. So no, probably not. It's a good question because again, Morgan plays centre half back on ball forward. He's a gun.
I think the bloke they'll play at centre half forward, Rochester, and he's a gun, is Chris Sanders. He is a really, really good player, and he really strengthens them up. He's been playing centre half forward, and I reckon he really strengthens them at centre half forward.
I think Bowen will be deeper down the ground.
Bowen will go to full forward.
Now the ruck contest is going to be an absolute beauty. I think Sammy Brennan were full of experience and been there and done that sort of type player, but to underestimate his opponent Smith John, that's going to be a big mistake.
Smith's a good kid, number 19. He's a really. I'm a rat for this kid, and but Sammy Brennan, he's a competitor. He's a beauty.
He is. I agree, Smith is, but you hit it right on the head, John. He's a kid, and he's still got a lot of experience. Sam Brennan is as good as they're going around, and I think that'll be a real weak point for Kai this week because I think Sam Brennan will jump all over that young bloke.
Yeah, the young bloke's got a good spring. I tell you, another bloke snuck back into the Roger side is Heath Aikens, back into that side without much notice. And as I said, Chris Sanders, Sanders, however it's pronounced. Look, those two will come back in, and they're 2 really, really good players. And you've got Nathan Maroney, and you've got Dylan Williams. Both those kids, they had a little patch before where they just dropped off a little bit. They've come back again. And they're really playing good football. Daniel Anderson, Nick O'Connor, who usually plays back, has a tag and roll, been up forward. He's kicked 11 goals, so he's been good.
And don't forget,
how are you going to counteract the dominance of a boy like Liam Ogden and throw in Luke Morris to that equation? I expect those 2 boys from Kai to get plenty of it.
Yeah, look, they will. I mean, Liam Ogden is to me, he's a class player, a silky little left footer who probably should be spending more time in the midfield. But I don't know. A game like this, you need to go. I'm not a massive believer in going on heavy tags. When you've got 2 good sides, you just let your midfield. You make them accountable, but you let them go head to head. And I'm talking about blokes like Ash Watson in the middle is an out and out gun for Rochi, and then blokes like in the middle for Kyabram, obviously. Liam Ogden, and their coach and
Cole Stockstone come in.
Correct, Josh Vick, blokes like that. So look, I don't think tags are a massive thing unless somebody's had 4 or 5 goals out of the midfield. You just let blokes go head to head and make them accountable.
Well, the last time they met it was Rochi by 5 points. Last week, Rochi beat Tachura by 124 points, and Kai beat Echuca by 54 points. Now. Amazingly, last year, Rochi only won 11 games, John, and they've improved that out of side. Kai won 14. So there has definitely been improvement in the Rochi camp. I reckon it's going to be a great game of footy.
Fantastic.
I really do. I reckon there might only be a kick in it, but because of the home ground advantage, I'm going to go for Rochi.
Yeah, Rochi 15-2 this year, and Kyabram are 12-5. They've only lost 2 games, and they won't drop this week. I tell you now, they will want form going into finals.
Yeah, but you'll look anyway. Enough said on that. We've got to move along because we're
running short of time. So we got the Benalla boys coming up against Euroa. Euroa, of course, last week very, very disappointing. 6 versus 2nd, went down by 4 points. They've lost 3 in a row, Euroa boys now, so that's not good form going into the finals, but they did beat Benalla by 10 points last time. well, there's no doubt they've improved. They only won 5 games last year and they got 9 this year, so they're good. But Benalla boys have won 10 in a row. And I think you'll find this week that Sam Martin and Nick Mellington will come back into their side. Foxy, that just strengthens up a heap more. Mellington, as we know, last week kicked 5 goals. He was good. Farron Priest, boys, was very good last week with his 4 goals. Lockie Smith, I think he had 23 or 24 marks. I actually thought he was playing at centre-half forward for Seymour because they just kept kicking it to him. Will Martinello's the start. I thought El Jacko found some form, really good form last week. Josh Marchbank, he was great in the ruck last week. Yeah. I think his last 3 or 4 weeks, he has really, really improved.
He beat Grenfell hands down.
Oh, yeah, he did. Brooke Martin, I thought, did a marvellous job.
Big scope the way Grenfell's been going.
Yeah, Brooke Martin, Foxy, I think he's one of the most underrated players in the league. Brooke Martin, I thought he done a job on Bron Getty last week. He was terrific. Jake Paul Pratt was on Sard and did the job. And I like the role they're using Nick Warnock now. I just think he's playing terrific footy. On the other side of the coin, Euroa, Andrew Bell, he's had a really, really good year, Andrew Bell. I think he's been in their best 12 or 13 times. Nathan Gillan, Taylor Snowden, Horsburgh Trotter, Long, the 2 Trotter boys, Adam Tarrant and Brad Cunningham. But me boys, Benalla.
Benalla easy. Nice and easy.
Yeah, look, I'd obviously I'd have to agree. I think Benalla will do it. Now, I agree. Brooke Martin, last week the job he did on Bongetti.
Fantastic.
He is. I haven't known much about him through the year. He's a gun.
Absolutely.
A good player.
Surname tells the story.
Yeah, but everyone talks about Sam Martin, John.
Oh, don't get James Martin, who's just come back into the side, and he was very good.
Okay, Guy, let's find out about United and the Swans.
Yeah, United lost to Marootna by 23 points last week. Probably, look, I don't know if that was expected. Matty DeBella goes under the radar, best on ground last week, and just for me, he's just a workhorse. Ryan Butler, Curry, knees in the ruck, good ruckman, as was said, needs to take more marks around the ground. Tim Luby, what can you say about Tim Luby? He's a great player. Healy, Sean Hoy, good to see him finding some bit more form now, John, late in the year. Benny Bigham and Kaya. Over to Swans, beat the Bears by 79 points and was probably expected. Chapman, great for Swans. Nick Calandro, BJ Squire, absolute gun for them. Tyson Sidebottom has come good in the second half of the year, may even feature in your top 50, John. Mitch Bell, their ruckman. I like Mitch Bell. I like the way he goes about it. Young fella who's actually mechanic out of Mercedes, I found out the other week, but he's a good player, Mitch Bell. Kane Proctor, Caden Antonowitz, Fry and Reardon. Look, for me, it's going to be Swans. I just think United, there's a bit... United got a bit of rebuilding to do.
Oh, yeah.
Swans for me.
20 points last time. They won 14 last year, Swans.
Well done. Next.
Okay, we've got Mansfield and Seymour. Well, Mansfield did what not many believe they would, and that's why this is such a critically huge game for the Lions. They want to go out switched on and prepared. They're coming off a loss, and that's when they're at their most dangerous. I don't think some of those boys that had bad days last week, and there's a few of them, will duplicate it again. I will pay tribute to young Jason Cole.
Yeah,
he was solid in a losing side, but I tell you, every person that's playing football in the Golden Valley Football League should have a look. Preparation's a fair bit of the game of playing football. Young Jason gets out on his own and prepares himself and warms up, does his own thing, gets his head right, because it's Jason's name and his ability that's going on show. And it's a full credit to him.
We did sit there and watch him, didn't we?
Yeah, and
he was doing the Dying Swan.
There's a lot of...
I thought he had hemorrhoids at one stage.
Yeah, we were doing that one. Yeah, but we tried to put music to it, Jason.
Yeah, we did. But he is playing good footy.
One thing about Jason Cole, he's a ball magnet.
Oh, yeah.
He gets a lot of the fun.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, a couple of boys had a bad game last week, and that's just the way football goes sometimes. If you have a look on the other side, Burberry, Fagan. Fagan was probably kept...
8 goals last week, Burberry.
Yeah. Jamie Sheen's playing still crook. 2 Hind boys are touches of class, I can tell you. Henry's a good player. Elliot Christopher and Tommy Balcom. Now, as I said, it's a real danger game for Seymour, but I reckon they want to go into the finals coming off a win. And I reckon for me, it's going to be the Lions to bounce back this weekend.
Yeah, look, the good thing about the Mansfield boys, they only won 3 games last year and they got 8 this year, which is terrific. And Seymour, these two sides are big improvers. Seymour only won 4 last year, boys, and they won 11 this year. So, two sides improving, but yeah, I've got to go Seymour.
Yeah, Seymour will bounce back. They won't dish up what they did last week.
The Mighty Cats are taking on Shepparton.
Marootna beat United by 23 points last week. And yeah, look, good. I still think there's a little bit of unrest at Maroubna with obviously losing the great coach in Blake Campbell, and then obviously Daniel Lewis didn't play on the weekend, and that was a it was a tough call that Maroubna had to make. And I think
I'll tell you what, didn't the kids step up though?
Yeah, and I think they made the right one though, Johnny. So Dean was great. Dean Smith, absolute gun player. Sullivan, Simon Russell was good as well. Campbell, Shane McDonald, out and out superstar, and it's good to see him recommit to next year and hopefully bring a few with him. Trent Frere had a good year. Trent Frere, I reckon, pretty tough. Johnston and Ryan Thompson. He's a bit of a favourite of mine. Ryan Thompson, I don't mind him.
Will they offer McDonald a coaching job?
Oh well, has he coached before?
Too big a call.
He's only young. You have to move down, I'd say. But he's
too
down.
big, way too big.
Look,
I
just think if you haven't, you've got to have had some sort of coaching now to coach at this level. You've got to have had some sort of experience.
And you can go out first time if you've got the right support staff, and that'll be the back of his head, I guess, because he's a footballing.
Oh, he's got a football brain, but there's a difference between having a football brain and being a coach. Moving right along, Shep Bears lost to Shep Swans by 79 points. Boyd, O'Sullivan, Shannon and Walsh. Seb Walsh, Johnny, your boy, was very good. Nicky Allen, great player, obviously, and we know a lot about Nick Allen. Rowan Hiscock, great player. Ash Holland in the rucks, another good player as well. Teddy Linden and Rupert Sangster. And Shep boys kicked 4 goals 10 last week. It's 14 scoring shots. If they want to be any chance against Maroubna, they need to turn that points around. But I reckon Shep Bears could have an upset here.
No, for me it's the Cats.
Cats.
And then back to the wall. The
last game, boys.
Yep. And that is Echuca and Tatura, JR.
Tatura's premiership. This is the premiership game. They have to get, I think Wall and McGough will play, which will really strengthen the Bulldogs up. The last time it was 6 points, and I think if you remember, the Bulldogs were about 34 or 5 points up halfway through the third quarter. Echuca won 4 games last year. They've won 3, 13 and 1, and the Bulldogs, of course, won 12 games last year and haven't won a game this year. Look, the Bulldogs, 124 points to Roger last week. They're going to turn this into the grand final. You know, Tommy Miller, Kirby, Lanyon, Daniels, Fraser, Martin, Lovell, and if Ryan, McGough and Wall play, it's really going to strengthen the Bulldogs up. There's a few to come back in, Lee Warnett, and a few of the boys that pulled out last week. Echuca, we know about Scotty Beattie, Morris, Buckley, Reid, Pollock, Phillips. You know, there's some really, really good players. Young Denham, Lockie Collins, well, he'll miss out now because he got sort of suspended. But I think I'm going to go for the Bulldogs to win their very, very last game of the year.
Yeah, I just think, John, I really hope that Tatura can win for the sake of Jamison Daniels and what he's done this year. But just looking at that, though, when you've got a leading goal kicker that's only kicked 16 goals for the year, I don't think Tatura have enough firepower up forward to kick a winning score. But I would love to see Tatura win.
Well, I'm a football realist, and the reality is that Briggsy's boys are going to get this one and get it pretty easy. I'm going for the Murray Bombers, and they've got some handy players running around in that jumper, and I think they'll be too good for them.
If Tat win, I'll
what, John?
have a few drinks.
Captain Custard.
What about
to the rescue?
What about a bit of product in your
Well,
hand?
I was thinking about getting my ears pierced.
Now,
we're thinking about that later.
That's exactly right. Want to thank you for tonight. I hope you enjoyed the interviews that came your way. As I said, Toyota, we are absolutely wrapped, and all the boys up there, you'll be hearing more about it right up through the final series. And